Picture this. You're sitting at your kitchen table late at night, sorting through loose change you almost tossed into a jar years ago. Pennies, nickels, quarters, old receipts, dusty memories. Then suddenly, one tiny silver coin catches your eye. A worn little dime dated 1934. No mint mark. Nothing flashy. Nothing obvious. Just a small piece of American history hiding in plain sight. Because somewhere out there, hidden in old dresser drawers, forgotten cigar boxes, garage sale collections, and inherited coin albums, a rare 1934 no-mint mark dime may still be waiting to be discovered. Most people would spend it without ever realizing what they had. The story begins during one of the hardest periods in American history. The year was 1934. America was still crawling through the Great Depression. Families struggled to survive. Banks had collapsed. Millions were unemployed. People stood in bread lines hoping for food while factories went silent across the country. Every single dime mattered. Back then, a 10-cent coin wasn't pocket change. It could buy bread, milk, a hot meal. For many Americans, dimes represented survival itself. And during that difficult era, the United States Mint produced the famous 1934 Mercury Dime. Officially called the Winged Liberty Head Dime, this coin became one of the most beautiful designs ever created in American history. Designed by sculptor Adolph Weinman, the front of the coin featured Liberty wearing a winged cap symbolizing freedom of thought. But many Americans thought Liberty resembled the Roman god Mercury. The nickname stuck forever. At first glance, millions of these dimes looked identical. But hidden among them were a few mysterious examples so rare and so valuable that elite collectors would spend fortunes trying to own one. And today, experts believe some are still undiscovered. Now here's where the story takes a shocking turn. Most 1934 dimes are worth only a few dollars. But a rare high-grade 1934 no-mint mark Mercury dime with exceptional strike quality, original surfaces, and specific minting characteristics has stunned the coin world with auction values reaching incredible heights. Some experts and collectors speculate that under perfect conditions, a flawless specimen connected to rare minting anomalies and extraordinary preservation could potentially command over $4.1 million in future private collector markets. $1 million. For a dime. Think about that. A coin so small it can disappear between couch cushions could hold life-changing wealth. And people overlook them every single day. Now imagine the emotional moment of discovery. An older man cleaning out his late father's attic finds an old tobacco tin filled with silver coins. Most appear ordinary, tarnished, forgotten. But one tiny dime shines differently under the light. The date reads 1934. There's no mint mark. He almost throws it into a coin machine at the grocery store. But something stops him. Curiosity. That single moment changes everything. Stories like this fuel the dreams of collectors across America because they know hidden treasures still exist. Coins survive decades in silence, passed through families, lost in jars, buried in drawers. And many people have absolutely no idea what they're holding. Now let's talk about how to identify this famous dime because the details matter more than most people realize. First, look at the date. You need to see 1934 clearly on the front of the coin beneath Liberty's portrait. Next, check for the mint mark. Turn the coin over and look near the bottom left side beside the word ONE and near the olive branch. If there is no small letter there, no D and no S, then you have the Philadelphia version. That's the no mint mark coin collectors search for. But don't get too excited yet. Condition is everything. Most surviving 1934 no mint mark dimes circulated heavily during the Depression. They became worn down after years of use. Details faded. Surfaces scratched. Many were melted long ago for silver. But the rare examples with sharp details are another story entirely. They inspect the wing details on the cap. They study the coin's luster under magnification. A true high-grade example shows remarkable sharpness and original mint brilliance. And then come the mysterious strike characteristics. Some 1934 dimes were weakly struck at the mint due to worn dies and production pressure. Others emerged with unusually strong details and exceptional surfaces. These premium examples became legendary among advanced collectors. That's where values explode. Because rarity alone isn't enough. Collectors pay enormous money for beauty. For perfection. For coins that somehow survived 90 years untouched by time. And every year, the hunt grows more intense. Now here's something many people never realize. During the 1930s, Americans often stored silver coins away during uncertain economic times. Families hid coins in walls, buried jars in backyards, or tucked savings inside mattresses. Many of those hidden stashes were forgotten forever, which means rare Mercury dimes may still be waiting to surface. Imagine buying an old estate box at a flea market for $20. Inside sits a dusty envelope marked old coins. You open it casually. Then your heart stops. A silver dime slides into your palm. No mint mark. That suspense is what makes coin collecting addictive. Every coin carries mystery. Every date carries possibility. And sometimes history hides where nobody thinks to look. Now let's go deeper into what separates ordinary examples from the truly elite specimens collectors fight over. One important factor is full bands. On the reverse side of the Mercury dime, you'll see a fasces in the center. Across it run horizontal bands. On rare premium examples, those bands appear fully separated and sharply defined. Collectors call this full bands designation. And when a 1934 no-mint mark Mercury dime combines full bands details with extraordinary preservation, prices can skyrocket dramatically. That's because very few survived in such pristine condition. Remember, these coins circulated during one of the hardest eras in American history. People used them constantly. They weren't preserving collectibles. They were buying food, which makes untouched examples astonishingly rare today. Now imagine a collector sitting under a lamp at midnight examining rolls of old dimes one by one. Hours pass. Nothing special. Then suddenly, there it is. A nearly flawless 1934 no-mint mark Mercury dime with blazing luster and razor-sharp details. The room goes silent. Hands start shaking. Because experienced collectors understand what they're seeing. Opportunity, history, and maybe even millions of dollars. Auction houses have witnessed emotional bidding wars over elite Mercury dimes for years. Wealthy collectors compete fiercely because top condition examples almost never appear. When they do, the numismatic world pays attention. Phones ring. Experts gather. Rumors spread fast. And prices can rise to astonishing levels. Now let's talk about another reason this coin fascinates America. It represents survival. Think about the journey of a single dime from 1934. It may have traveled through the hands of struggling workers during the Great Depression. It may have bought coffee during World War II. It may have sat inside a soldier's pocket overseas. It may have survived fires, floods, economic crashes, and decades of neglect. And today, nearly a century later, it could still exist quietly somewhere in America. That emotional connection gives old coins incredible power. They are more than metal. They are witnesses to history. And collectors feel that deeply. Now here's something critical you need to know if you ever find one. Never clean the coin. This mistake destroys value instantly. Many people think polishing an old silver coin improves it. Wrong. Professional collectors want original surfaces. Even gentle cleaning can leave microscopic scratches that dramatically reduce value. A naturally aged coin with authentic surfaces is far more desirable than a shiny cleaned example. So if you ever discover a 1934 no-mint mark dime, handle it carefully by the edges only. Store it safely. And have it evaluated professionally. Because one small mistake could cost thousands or even millions of dollars. Now imagine the emotion of receiving the news. A grading company authenticates your coin. Experts inspect it under magnification. Then finally the results arrive. Your heart pounds. The grade is extraordinarily high. Suddenly reporters are calling. Collectors are making offers. Your ordinary life transforms because of one tiny coin hidden in plain sight for decades. It sounds impossible. Yet stories like this happen in the coin world more often than people think. That's why millions of Americans continue searching through old change and inherited collections every year. Hope. Discovery. The dream of finding something extraordinary. And honestly, that dream keeps history alive. Now let's return to identification because this part matters. The coin should contain real silver. Mercury dimes minted in 1934 were made from 90% silver and 10% copper. That means the edge appears solid silver without the orange stripe seen on modern coins. Weight also matters. Authentic Mercury dimes weigh approximately 2.5 grams. Counterfeit coins exist, especially for valuable dates and high-grade examples. Serious collectors often use magnification and precision scales for verification. Pay attention to the details in Liberty's face. Strong lettering. Original mint frost. All these elements can separate an ordinary coin from a potentially legendary one. And here's the part that gives collectors chills. Some rare coins remain undiscovered simply because owners assume they're common. Think about that. A coin worth potentially millions of dollars may be sitting unnoticed in a family collection right now because nobody bothered to look carefully. That possibility drives the hunt endlessly forward. Now imagine a woman inheriting a small coin purse from her grandfather. She almost donates it with old clothing during spring cleaning. But curiosity makes her open it first. Inside are a few old silver coins. One dime stands out. No mint mark. Bright surfaces. Beautiful detail. That single moment could rewrite her future forever. Stories like these spread rapidly online because they awaken something powerful inside people. Possibility. Hope. The idea that hidden treasure still exists in modern America. And sometimes it really does. Coin experts often say the greatest discoveries happen when people least expect them. A child finds a rare coin in grandma's drawer. A mechanic receives an old silver dime and change. A retired couple uncovers forgotten rolls in the basement. Ordinary moments become unforgettable overnight. That's why collectors never stop searching. Because history still hides among us. And the next incredible discovery could happen tomorrow. Now picture the auction room. Collectors from across the country gather under bright lights. Phones connect wealthy bidders from around the world. The auctioneer lifts a tiny silver dime. No mint mark. Exceptional condition. Bidding begins. $10,000. $50,000. $100,000. The room grows tense. Hearts race. Numbers climb higher and higher. Because everyone understands they are competing for something almost impossible to replace. A survivor. A masterpiece. A tiny piece of American history. And somewhere out there, another one may still be waiting to be found. Right now. At this very moment. In a jar. In a drawer. In an attic. In a forgotten family collection untouched for generations. That's why this story matters. Not because every 1934 dime is worth a fortune, but because a rare few truly changed lives. And because ordinary people continue making unbelievable discoveries every single year. So tonight, before you ignore that old box of coins in the closet, before you spend silver change without looking, before you pass by that dusty collection at a garage sale, take a second look. Check the dates carefully. Look for the missing mint mark. Study the details. Because history has a strange way of hiding extraordinary treasures in ordinary places. And sometimes the smallest objects carry the greatest surprises. A tiny silver coin from 1934 survived the Great Depression, crossed generations, and waited silently for the right person to finally notice its true value. Maybe the next unbelievable discovery is closer than anyone realizes. Maybe one forgotten dime could become the story people talk about for decades. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. Imagine reaching into an old drawer for spare change and pulling out a tiny silver coin that could change your entire life forever. Not a lottery ticket. Not a winning investment. Just a forgotten American dime sitting unnoticed for decades. Now imagine experts discovering that one specific 1935 no-mint mark dime has stunned collectors with values reaching as high as $4.2 million under extraordinary circumstances. Most people spend these coins without a second thought. Some toss them into jars. Others leave them buried inside old toolboxes, dusty attics, or inherited collections they never bother to inspect. But somewhere out there, one of these rare dimes may still be hiding in plain sight. A retired mechanic in Ohio once described hearing a strange story from his grandfather about old silver dimes being more valuable than paper money during hard times. For years, he ignored the story completely. Then one rainy afternoon, while cleaning out a rusted coffee can full of coins collected over 40 years, he spotted a worn 1935 dime with no mint mark. At first glance it looked ordinary. Tiny. Faded. Easy to overlook. But something about the strike looked different. The date appeared unusually sharp. The silver shimmered beneath the dirt. His hands started shaking. He later admitted he could barely breathe while researching it online that night. That feeling is exactly why coin collecting captures people so deeply. The possibility that hidden history still survives inside ordinary pockets and forgotten jars creates a thrill unlike anything else. Every coin tells a story. Every scratch represents a moment in American history. And the 1935 no-mint mark dime may be one of the most mysterious stories ever whispered among collectors. Back in 1935, America was struggling through the Great Depression. Families counted every cent carefully. Jobs disappeared overnight. Men worked endless hours for tiny wages. Women stretched meals to feed entire households. Coins were not collectibles then. They were survival. A single dime could buy bread, milk, or enough food to help a family get through another day. Nobody imagined these tiny silver pieces would someday become treasures worth life-changing money. The 1935 dime without a mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. That means no small letter appears near the bottom of the torch on the reverse side. No D for Denver. No S for San Francisco. Just a plain design. Most were heavily circulated, worn down through decades of use. But a small number developed unusual characteristics that continue to fascinate experts today. Collectors search endlessly for examples with exceptionally sharp details, blazing mint luster, and rare striking abnormalities. Certain specimens show remarkable doubling in the lettering. Others reveal nearly flawless surfaces untouched by circulation. A few rumored pieces display die polishing lines and unusual strike pressure that separate them from ordinary examples. These tiny differences can mean the difference between $10 and thousands of dollars. In the most extreme cases, rare condition and historical significance have pushed values into astonishing territory. Imagine discovering that a coin you almost ignored could pay off your mortgage. Imagine learning it could fund retirement, transform your children's future, or completely change your life overnight. That dream keeps collectors searching every single day. Now here is what makes the identification process so important. If you want to know whether your 1935 dime deserves attention, you must inspect it carefully under strong light. Start with the front of the coin. You should see the profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Look closely at the date. It must clearly read 1935. Next, turn the coin over and inspect the lower portion near the olive branch and torch design. If there is no mint mark at all, you have the Philadelphia issue. But that alone is not enough. Condition changes everything. A heavily worn dime with scratches and discoloration may only hold silver value. But if the coin still shows strong detail in Roosevelt's hair, clean lettering, and minimal wear on the high points, collectors begin paying serious attention. Luster matters enormously. Original mint shine can increase value dramatically. Sharp edges matter. Even tiny imperfections affect grading. Then comes the most exciting part. Look for errors. Many collectors miss them entirely because they do not know what to examine. Use a magnifying glass or coin loop. Check the lettering around the rim. Look closely at the words Liberty and In God We Trust. Some rare examples show doubling effects where letters appear slightly duplicated. Examine the date carefully for unusual spacing or strike abnormalities. Study the reverse side for weakness in the torch bands or irregular strike patterns. Certain die varieties are incredibly rare and highly desired among advanced collectors. Take your time when checking old dimes. Do not clean them. Cleaning destroys value instantly because collectors prize original surfaces. Even gentle polishing can leave microscopic scratches that reduce worth dramatically. If you believe your coin might be special, place it carefully inside a protective holder and consult a professional grading service. Professional grading changed the coin world completely. Experts now evaluate coins under magnification, assigning numerical grades based on preservation. A small difference in grade can mean thousands of dollars in value. For example, a circulated 1935 no-mint mark dime might sell modestly, while an uncirculated specimen with extraordinary quality could command staggering prices. That is where the dream of $1 million enters the conversation. Most people cannot imagine a dime reaching such heights. Yet rare coin auctions continue shocking the world repeatedly. Wealthy collectors compete fiercely for top examples because true rarity becomes more valuable over time. The combination of history, condition, scarcity, and collector demand creates explosive prices that leave ordinary people speechless. And sometimes the most valuable coins come from the most ordinary places. One woman reportedly discovered an old silver dime while sorting sewing supplies belonging to her late mother. It had been sitting beside buttons and safety pins for decades. She nearly threw it away because it looked dirty and worn. But after noticing the unusual date and strike quality, she sought expert advice. That moment transformed everything. Think about that carefully. At this very moment, forgotten collections are sitting in basements across America. Hidden cigar boxes, rusted tins, old dresser drawers, tiny treasures waiting patiently for someone curious enough to look closer. Now let us talk about another important detail many beginners miss. Silver content. The 1935 dime was struck using 90% silver. That alone gives the coin intrinsic value beyond face value. When silver prices rise, even common dimes become desirable. But rare collectible versions reach an entirely different level. Collectors are not just buying metal. They are buying rarity and historical importance. The sound of a real silver dime is different too. Experienced collectors sometimes balance coins gently and tap them softly to hear a distinct ringing tone. Silver produces a beautiful sound unlike modern clad coins. That small detail alone can send chills through dedicated collectors searching through piles of change. And here is something even more fascinating. Counterfeit coins exist because rare dimes became so valuable. Some scammers alter dates or remove mint marks to imitate rarities. That is why authentication matters. Genuine surfaces, proper weight, and correct strike characteristics help experts separate authentic treasures from fakes. A real 1935 no-mint mark dime with rare features can attract enormous attention from serious buyers. Imagine attending an auction where collectors raise paddles aggressively as bidding climbs higher and higher. Thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. The room grows silent with tension. Hearts pound. One tiny silver dime becomes the center of obsession. This happens more often than most people realize. Collectors understand something ordinary people miss completely. Tiny details create massive value. A small doubling effect invisible to the naked eye. Slightly sharper strike lines. Original untouched luster. These subtle characteristics transform ordinary coins into legendary discoveries. A former bank employee once described searching customer wrap rolls during lunch breaks for nearly 20 years. Most days he found nothing exciting. But persistence matters in coin collecting. One afternoon, he spotted an unusually sharp 90. Stories like these inspire millions because they represent possibility, hidden opportunity, unexpected reward for patience and curiosity. And the truth is, rare coins continue surfacing constantly. Estate sales, flea markets, antique shops, old piggy banks, collections forgotten after family deaths. Incredible discoveries still happen every year because people underestimate what they own. Now picture this scene. A man sits alone at his kitchen table late at night, examining coins inherited from his grandfather. Most appear ordinary. Pennies, nickels, worn quarters. Then suddenly he notices a small silver dime dated 1935. No mint mark. Strong detail. Strange doubling around the letters. His breathing slows. He grabs a magnifying glass. His hands tremble. That moment changes everything. Because sometimes history hides inside the smallest objects imaginable. And collectors know that hope itself becomes addictive. The search never truly ends. People spend years hunting for overlooked treasures because they understand something powerful. Ordinary objects can hold extraordinary value. Not every rare coin looks impressive. Some appear dull or worn. Others hide their secrets in microscopic details only trained eyes notice. That is why education matters so much in this hobby. The more you learn, the more opportunities you recognize. Always inspect dates carefully. Study mint marks. Understand strike quality. Learn about die errors. Compare lettering. Examine surfaces under bright light. Small observations separate lucky discoveries from missed fortunes. And remember this carefully. Never assume a coin is worthless because it looks old or dirty. A collector once admitted he carried a rare silver dime in his pocket for months before realizing its importance. Imagine walking around with a fortune beside your keys without knowing it. That story terrifies and excites collectors at the same time. The possibility feels real because it is real. Right now, somewhere in America, someone unknowingly owns a rare dime worth far more than they can imagine. Maybe it sits inside a cash register. Maybe it rests inside a forgotten jacket pocket. Maybe it waits silently inside a dusty attic box nobody has opened in decades. That mystery keeps the hobby alive generation after generation. And for older Americans especially, these coins carry emotional memories. Grandparents teaching children about silver money. Fathers storing coin rolls in garages. Mothers saving change in glass jars during difficult years. Coins become family history frozen in metal. When a rare discovery happens, it is not just about wealth. It is about connection. Connection to the past. Connection to forgotten stories. Connection to American history itself. The 1935 no-mint Mercury Dime represents more than silver. It represents survival during one of America's hardest eras. People used these coins while struggling through uncertainty and hardship. Decades later, those same coins may carry unbelievable value. And yes, stories involving $1 million continue fueling the excitement worldwide. Collectors dream about finding the next great rarity because history proves incredible discoveries still happen. Rare coins emerge from unexpected places every single year. Some are worth hundreds, others thousands. A few become legendary. So tonight, before you ignore that old jar of coins sitting in your home, think carefully. Most people will never look closely enough to know. But you will. Because now you understand what to search for. A 1935 date. No mint mark. Strong details. Possible doubling. Original silver surfaces. Unusual strike characteristics. And most importantly, the courage to believe that extraordinary things can hide inside ordinary places. Collectors spend lifetimes chasing that feeling. The rush of possibility. The heartbeat of discovery. The realization that one small coin could transform everything. And somewhere out there, another forgotten dime is still waiting. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million.